What's up, nerds? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Christina, and today we are going to talk about memory and how much having a mental health issue sucks and destroys your memory. I feel like when you have mental health issues, something that's really common and something that a lot of people say is, my memory's really bad, or my memory sucks, and I can't even remember anything. And people, I think, don't realize how serious we are when we say that, because having bad memory, or like not remembering what you had for breakfast that day, or like what you had for dinner on Tuesday last week, is like something that is common and like nobody remembers. But I feel like for me personally, when I tell my friends, or like when I say to people like I have really bad memory, when I say that, what I mean is that I don't remember being a kid, like, at all. I have like little fragments of memory from being a kid. Like, I remember the one time my stepbrother and I were sledding in a grocery store parking lot, and I slipped and I fell and almost got hit by a car. And he told me not to tell my parents. Like, I remember that. I remember this one time I called my aunt stupid and she hit me. And I remember, like, this one time I went to my friend's house after school and she got high by, like, I don't even know how you do it. Like, you inhale like those keyboard cleaner things. I don't even know. And she was like falling on the way home, and I had to help her to her house, and I didn't tell my parents. Like, I remember little stuff like that and little fragments like that. And I think if I saw somebody's face now, I would kind of remember who they are, and maybe like a memory or two would come back. But I don't remember like my childhood as a whole, and I don't remember my early 20s as a whole, and not because I was really drunk, but just because I don't remember, and it feels like a whole totally different world. Like, I had a roommate for like 5 years, and I know so much about this person, but I cannot for the life of me remember living with him ever. And it's really scary not having these memories, because being a person who has the personalization and already kind of feeling like you're in a movie and that you're not really connected with the world, not having the memories to connect to your childhood, or to connect to your family, or even to like school or a job. Like, when I'm working a job, I remember, I know how much I hate that job, and I know why I hate that job. But thinking about it and going back, like, I can't remember anything about being at that job. I don't remember when I worked at the tea shop, and I would go into the back room. I'd go into the storage room, and I would kind of like sit in a corner and like hyperventilate and have panic attacks. And I remember that I did that, but it doesn't feel like it was me that did that, and it doesn't feel like that was my experience. And I guess that's how a lot of my memories are. Like, I can remember things, but they don't feel connected to me, so it doesn't feel like they're my memories. It feels like I watched a movie or something, and I'm thinking that those are my memories, but they're not really my memories. It's kind of hard to explain. And I think it's hard to explain to people how scary it is to not have memories. Because like I said, like it's something that people kind of dismiss very easily and very quickly, where you're like, I don't remember being a kid, and they're like, yeah, I don't remember being a kid either. And it's different, I think, because as a person who already doesn't feel like a person and doesn't feel like a real person, I'm afraid that I'm gonna get old and be like in my 40s and not have any idea how I got to where I am at that point. Like sometimes I get to work and I don't remember how I got to work. And sometimes I'll be on the train going to work, and I will kind of like snap out of the days that I'm in and kind of be like, oh, I'm on the train. I have always been on the train, and I will always be on this train, and this is kind of just my life now. I'm on this train. And that's such a weird, it's a really weird feeling. And I've tried to explain it like that to people, and I'm not sure that's the best way to explain to people. Like, I try to explain it to my therapist in that way, and he kind of related it to like when people are driving and they miss their exit because they were like daydreaming. But I felt like that comparison wasn't correct. And I don't know if maybe it is correct for other people, but for me, I think because it's something that I'm dealing with personally, it feels more personal to me. So for it to be compared to something that does happen to everybody, like all the time, felt weird. And I'm not trying to say that like my experiences are, like nobody has the same experiences like me, or that like every experience that I have is unique to myself. I'm sure that like having bad memory is something that is common. I do know from doing a lot of reading that having bad memory is more common in people who do have depression and anxiety and stuff like that, like those types of mental illnesses. But it's very scary, not feeling connected to the world and already feeling like you're a figment of somebody's imagination, and then realizing you don't know how you got here. I don't know how I got here. Like, I remember that I had jobs, and I remember that I went to school for like a month, and at some point everything kind of worked out, but not having memories that you feel personally connected to kind of also affects your relationships with people, because especially with like my family, is probably where this does the most damage. Is I have a lot of friends who are really close to their parents, and they like call their mom every day, or like they love hanging out with their siblings, and I have no personal connection to my family or my siblings, or like I can go months without talking to my mom and it doesn't bother me, because I don't have those memories of like being with them every day for years. Like, I lived with my mom from when I was born to when I was 18, and I have some memories, but they're not like, they don't feel personal. Like, they don't feel like they're my memories. So because I don't have this personal connection with people due to other factors, but also due to the fact that I don't have personal connecting memories with them, it makes me not really care about people, which is not something that I want, because I like people. I don't know if I love people. I love certain people. But and my siblings, like I have step siblings and I have half siblings, and if you count them all together, I'm like the middle of 7 kids, and I haven't talked to my youngest brother in years. Like, I thought he was 7, and he's gonna be a freshman in high school next year, or maybe he's already a freshman in high school, I think, and it it bothers me when I stop and think about it, and like now that I'm like talking about it, it bothers me, but in my everyday life I don't think about it, and I don't I don't care, and that really sucks to say out loud, but it's true. And my my other younger brother, he's a senior in high school, and you kind of like, you watch these movies and you watch TV and you talk to your friends who like have really good relationships with their siblings, and you're like, when my brother's in high school, like, I'm gonna be there for him, and I'm gonna let him know that like he can talk to me and all this stuff. And then you wake up one day and all of a sudden he's a senior, and you spent 4 years not talking to your brother and not creating a personal relationship with them, and now you really have no memories to look back on, and it sucks. And it sucks to not have memories that you personally connect with, because it doesn't help in the long run with you creating connections and relationships with people and friends and your family. And for me personally, my grandmother on my mom's side, she had dementia and Alzheimer's, or she was getting Alzheimer's before she passed, and it scares me, not having these memories and like not being able to remember how I got to work that day, or like what I did for 5 hours. There are days where I have the day off from work and I'll wake up at like 10 and be on my phone, and all of a sudden I'll look up and it's like 7 o'clock at night, and I have no idea what I did in that between time. Like, I honestly spend all day sitting on my couch like looking at my phone? Like, I don't know, I don't remember. I don't even remember what I was looking at on my phone. And so having experiences like that and not having memories that I can connect to of like my childhood or like my friends or even of like the last year, that scares me, and it makes me feel like I have early onset dementia or early onset Alzheimer's, but I've kind of always been that way. And I had a boyfriend who said that I was really good at repressing things, because I felt like there was something about my childhood that happened which was blocking these memories, or the fact that like he could say something really mean to me and like 2 days later or like an hour later, like I wouldn't remember what it was that he said, so I wouldn't even be mad at him anymore. And I don't think it's that I was repressing things. I think it's just that my brain doesn't hold on to these memories, short-term memories, really. I can remember things from further back a little bit better, but it's a hard thing to deal with. And I bring it up because I know I'm not the only person who does deal with this. I've been talking to this person on Instagram through Messenger, and they brought it up, like, if I ever felt like I had early onset Alzheimer's because my memories were so bad, and it kind of like surprised me that they put it in that way, because even I thought it was like a personal fear. Like, I thought, I was the only one who like had that in my brain, that's what it was, and it's not just me. And I just wanted to talk about it, one, because it's something that scares me, and two, because if you know, one other person messaged me asking me that in that specific way because they also have that experience as a person who also has the personalization, then it can't just be us two, right? Like, it has to be other people, at least one other person. I don't know, things happen in threes, right? So I just want to throw it out there that if you have really bad memory and you feel like you, and I mean you have like bad memory, like I said, like sometimes I'll wake up and I don't know what I did all day, and or I don't know how I got to work, or I don't know when I left my house. It's not just you, and if you need to talk or anything, I'm here, and other people are here too. You just kind of have to reach out to them. And I know that it's hard to talk to people who don't know anything about the personalization. And it's hard being in a relationship with somebody who doesn't understand it or like doesn't want to understand it. But I'm here and I'm always down to talk. And so yeah. I say this at the end of every video, but I'm going to try to make more videos more constantly and on a schedule. And so we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I'll put my social media information down below. If you are somebody who is struggling with mental health, or specifically the personalization, feel free to subscribe, follow, comment, whatever. Yeah, and thanks. Have a good night.